Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Think Clinical podcast. My name is Hamza. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's going to be another amazing episode. I'm looking forward to engaging you in some 5 costly mistakes that healthcare businesses must avoid, because if you keep playing around these mistakes all the time, you will go bankrupt, your healthcare business will sink, and you will have to lose millions and millions of dollars, which you may not be able to raise again. So you need to pay attention to some of these issues that are coming up. And as I said, and I've said this in several of my episodes, AI is becoming a very big force in the healthcare industry. And the mistakes I'm going to share with you, research has proven that 80% of companies, of healthcare businesses, make these mistakes, these 5 mistakes, and 100% of the time they go out of business because they have failed to stay compliant, or they've ignored some of these mistakes that have sunk other healthcare businesses in the past. So I'm going to share this with you. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share, and we will make sure that we have the right content for you. So let's fix this before it's too late. Number 1, ignoring digital transformation. So in this era where we've moved through a lot of telehealth services, and we have been moving into AI, you need to make sure that you're not ignoring any form of digital transformation. And this is what I mean. When you think about companies like Blockbuster, remember their story, and that should be able to tell you that such big businesses and even healthcare businesses that fail to digitally transform are going to be into trouble. So when you look at a 2023 report by McKinsey, 60% of patients switch providers because those providers have better digital tools. 60%, that's a lot of people that switch providers just because of digital tools. So if you're running a healthcare business now, you're still running on paper charts, you're still capturing your notes on paper files, you need to move away or start making plans to move away. You have to make some investment in digital transformation tools, but those tools eventually are going to draw those patients to you, because again, remember that 60% of patients that move away from the healthcare providers because someone else was able to show them a better digital tool that they can use. So please pay attention to that. Now the fix for this is for you to first of all invest in HIPAA compliant telehealth platforms, as well as electronic health record systems or practice management softwares. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you need to make sure that your staff are trained. If you do not train your staff on how to use these tools, it's going to be a big problem, because you're going to have all these fancy tools that could have the potential to transform your business, but your staff are not trained enough to use it. The third thing is that you have to understand that these tools play a very important role in regulating your no-show rate and your cancellation rates. So when you use things like AI-powered tools, which was seen in Cleveland Clinic, it reduced no-show rates by 25%. That's huge, for you to be able to reduce your no-show rate by 25%. So these are things that you need to be paying attention to. Mistake number 2, when you overlook the patient experience, because when a patient makes a decision to even call your clinic, you need to be in a position where you have been able to make sure that journey is so smooth that from the time they Google you, find you online or on social media, or but from somebody's recommendation, by the time they hear about you, till the time they call you, how you manage them through that call, to the time they walk into your practice and how you receive them, to the kind of quality of care you give them, and how you even sign them off and see them go away, it's an experience that people are not willing to compromise. So when we look at a progressive care hospital study, 1-star reviews have cost clinics 30% of new patients. Just 1-star reviews. This means that when someone goes, searches for you, sees your website and sees a lot of 1-star reviews, the chances of them signing up to you, unless it's an emergency, they really need help, they are not going to sign up to you, they're not going to come in. So if you are losing 30% because of 1-star review, you need to tighten up the whole patient experience, which is important. So first, you have to make sure you have feedback loops. You have to get tools that help you send survey out, do analysis, and send you reports on what the patients are saying about you. The second thing is that you need to train your staff on empathy and communication. Now, empathy doesn't mean you're soft. It's a strategy. It's to help you talk to the patient and help them understand that you are with them with that struggle, and you're going to help them go through it. So that's a very important thing. And if you cannot offer a 24-hour chat support service, you're going to be in trouble. So you have to make sure that you have tools that are going to help you provide support 24/7. So that if anybody is online and needs to inquire about anything, what insurances you take when you're open, which doctors you have, something or somebody has to be on the other side chatting with this client 24/7. Now, one of the tips that you can use is to send post-visit SMS surveys, and usually with this, response rates are 45% higher than emails, because when you send this post-visit SMS surveys, people are usually, they just came to you, their experience is still very fresh, and there's a tendency for them to come to you and to give you a response, and 45% of the time you will get a response. Now, the mistake number 3, when you are underusing data analytics. Now, people and companies have so much data, they have all these tools that are giving them so much information, but for some reason these companies are not using the data that these tools are giving them to make decisions. So they are still doing a lot of guess game. Now, just so you know, 73% of healthcare leaders admit they don't leverage data for decisions. Meanwhile, predictive analytics could slash readmission rates by 20%. So if you look at how much value this is bringing to you just by using data to make decisions, is going to help you a lot. That's why you use tools like Epic electronic healthcare systems in healthcare. You can use personalized care plans using by demographic data. And a typical example of this is Mayo Clinic, who were able to cut costs by 18% just by predicting the ICU demand. 18%. So you use data. When you underutilize data, you will be in trouble. Mistake number 4, when you neglect compliance. Now, this is a big one. This should have been number 1. This is a huge one, because most people either do not know some of the compliance items that they need to be aware of, either they don't know any of these at all, or they are very much aware, but they are in a situation where they are just not compliant. Now, just so you know, HIPAA fines hit 1.5 million on average in 2023. People who just violate HIPAA regulations. So we have, but in the midst of all this, we have at least 40% of small practices that lack HIPAA compliance officers. 40%, that's almost half of the healthcare, the small practices that exist in the United States. Now, when you look at this data and how much HIPAA is fining people for these regulations, you cannot afford to be part of it, because a small business, you don't have the money to do anything or shut anything down. You have to conduct quarterly updates if you want to avoid this, and make sure that you are compliant and you have a compliance group, and you need to encrypt all patient information. That's very important. Don't just send patient information whenever and wherever you want it. Make sure you are you're encrypting all that information. Now, number 5, when you have weak marketing strategies. So the weak marketing strategies, people are still looking at flyers and billboards. Yes, in some demographics that will still work, but in the general population, now the first thing anybody does when they need a clinic, a dental office, anything else, is that they Google you, they look at your reviews, or they look at whether or not you appear on the first page. Now, if they Google, if I have a toothache and I want to go get a dental office that will take me, and you are not on the first page, I don't have the luxury, and I'm not in the state of waiting to go through pages and pages of this. So you need to optimize your SEO to make sure that when a Google comes out, if they say dental offices near me, you should be part of them. General dentistry offices, you should be part of them. You should always have these at the back of your mind. Now, if you can dominate the local SEO with keywords like urgent care near me, and you actually are able to publish patient stories on YouTube and Instagram, these have a very strong message of attracting other people, especially when other patients have said, hey, I've had this very good experience with these people and they're just fantastic. So again, as I said, 80% of healthcare businesses are making these 5 fatal mistakes, and 100% of the time they have sunk a lot of these healthcare businesses. Make sure you're not ignoring digital health transformations. Make sure you're not overlooking the patient experience. Make sure you are utilizing the data that you are getting from all these tools that you are paying a lot of money for to make decisions. Make sure you're not neglecting compliance. Look at all the HIPAA rules, the OSHA rules, anything that would make you compliant. Make sure you're not ignoring them. And please strengthen your marketing strategies, because these things have a potential of sinking you or making you or sinking your business. This has been another episode of the Think Clinical Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in our next episode.